Yeah, let's talk about post-World Cup soccer. This is not good news. Pele is age 82. He's in hospice in Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's been fighting pancreatic cancer. It's come back again. So we're waiting. We know how I think this is going to end up. But he was very, very vocal about the World Cup within the last couple of weeks. He did an interview, brief interview, from the bed in the hospital in Brazil. But it's sad. He's going to pass, and we've had great players that have come and gone. But man, he was the first one. And I think I told you the story. I stood on the sidelines of the Meadowlands in the 1970s as a young reporter, and I watched him play for the New York Cosmos in the NASL, and they were playing before 77,000 fans, and I just could not believe the crowd, could not believe how gifted he was as a player. So that's the story with Pelo. Uh, Lionel Messi, we talked about last week. He was approached by David Beckham. Would you be interested in coming to MLS and play for Inter Miami? At age 36, he'll listen, but he's also been recontacted by FC Barcelona.
Oh.
And Paris Saint-Germain has now entered the negotiations from France. So he's going to have a chance to look at big money, at least from Paris Saint-Germain and from Football Club Barcelona. MLS has got some limitations as to what they can pay him, but you can make that up with marketing deals. So that's a fascinating story to see what Lionel Messi is going to do. Nobody wants this guy. What's going to happen to Cristiano Ronaldo? I mean, he got to the finish line of the World Cup and he pouted and he got benched and then he moaned and then he cried after Portugal got beat. So at this point, the question is, who wants this guy? Because Manchester United released him during the World Cup, said, go. And he gave his money back to Man U. Where's he going? Who's going to play for? And who wants that baggage? It now seems to be carrying on with him. That's a really interesting story as we go towards the reopening of the second half of the EPL season and the transfer window and all that. And one final note, TV ratings. World Cup soccer, the final game, Argentina, France. Let me make sure I get this right. On Fox, 16.8 million viewers, all-time high.
Right on.
Right on.
Yeah.
Telemundo, 9.4 million here in the States.
Oh, great.
The Spanish broadcast, combined 26.2 million soccer fans in the U.S. watched the championship game. That's a staggering amount. That's kind of pushing the limits of Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to see that America is really warming up to soccer. For the longest time, people used to mock it and ridicule it and criticize it for the 0-0 ties.
Nil. Use the language, please, correctly.
And but it's great that people are appreciating. I think it's all part of the world, just becoming, the world's smaller, right? And we're a lot more connected to nations and other cultures around the world. So, great to see that progress here in the United States.
What's out there on the horizon? Well, that's 2026 U.S. World Cup.
Yeah,
U.S., right. Canada, Mexico hosting. And by the way, lost in all the conversation, the World Cup is going to 48 teams. 48 teams when it comes here in 2026. They have yet to figure out the bracketing of how they're going to do the groups and all that. But FIFA, about 4 years ago, took a vote and said, yes, we are expanding the World Cup, 48 teams when they play in 2026, and then they awarded it to U.S., Canada, Mexico, and a tri-country host. It's going to be cool.
Can't Follow wait. The money, right?
Exactly.
Like the NFL expanding the playoffs.
All right, here we go.